Hello, I'm Aaron Gemmel, and welcome to the season 5 finale. Can't believe it already. It's 5 seasons already done for the show. But welcome to the season 5 finale, season 5, episode 10, guest starring Central Michigan University President Dr. Davies. It's going to be a great interview. To all the fellow chips out there that are returning to Central or have questions regarding this upcoming school year, you're in luck. Hopefully, we'll get some good answers from President Davies and have some fun along the way. So without further ado, let's get the opening credits going and let's get the last episode of this season started. Let's get this thing going. All right, so first off, Dr. Davies, welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you today. Start off, where did you go to college and what did you major in?
My undergraduate degree is from the University of Nevada, Reno. I majored in business administration, specifically management and marketing. And then I've also earned my master's of business administration from the University of Oregon and my doctorate degree from the University at Buffalo.
Okay, great. Can you tell us, how did you get the job offer for president at Central Michigan University?
Well, it's kind of started off. I was president at Murray State University, and I had a very, very good friend that worked here at CMU. We met when we were both vice presidents at another university, and I left to become a president, and he left to come up here as a vice president. And we've always stayed in touch. In fact, when I was at Murray State, I hired him to support me in some of my initiatives down there. And one day we were just talking, it was in December, and he just started talking to me about possible next steps of my career. I was very happy at Murray State. I was excited to be there. A lot of great things going on. But he kind of talked about, future career plans, this, that, and the other. And because of his connection to CMU, he said, you really should take a look at CMU. It's a bigger university. It's a research university. It's national in scope, but it still has that very strong student-centered approach, that very strong support students in all that we do, and also the community engagement, all of which are very important to me. And lo and behold, President Ross announced his retirement about 2.5-3 months later, and I was recruited for the position, and here I am, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's been awesome to have you as president, because coming in as a freshman last year for college, it was so overwhelming, and to have you and your team having the support to support us freshmen when we moved in and everything like that, it made the transition very nice. We felt welcome. It felt like family immediately when we walked on campus. So kudos to you and your team on that.
Well, thank you very much. But that's just the culture of Central Michigan University, and it's great to hear from you that it's still going on.
So last year, as a freshman orientation, you told the story. I don't know if it was at Leadership Safari or something or another event, but you were telling the story about you trying out for your basketball team. Did you always want to be an athlete, or was your focus more on academics for your career?
Well, I love athletics, and when I was up through 7th grade, I was a point guard for our basketball team, but something happened in 7th grade, or at the end of 7th grade. Everybody grew but me. All of a sudden, where I was always the shortest kid in the room, don't get me wrong. But up until 7th grade, I could compete. I was a point guard. I was really sound defensively, and held the assist record for my junior high team for quite some time, and that's now obviously surpassed. But in 7th grade, everybody got taller, and so I actually started playing tennis, and I was a highly ranked junior player, and I've had some real interesting background in tennis, and I played tennis in college as well. But my story about going out for the basketball team, I believe college is where you can really try new things. And I always wanted to be a basketball player. I mean, that was just my dream, but I knew I couldn't do it. So they had a walk on, you try out for the team. And so I thought, for 3 or 4 days, I'll go out there and run around with never intended to make it. But for 2 days, 3 days or whatever it was, I wore the jersey and, got beat up and down on the court and everything else. So yeah, it was part of the fun.
That's a very funny story to hear. Because hopefully I got to try and figure it out. I want to try and walk on for the football team here at Central. Just I have no intention of making. Just want to throw on a CMU jersey and a helmet for a few days and just say, hey, I tried it.
I did the same thing for football too. I've never played football in my life, never in high school and other thing. But I had a friend who was a wide receiver on the team. So for 2 days I was a wide receiver, but I got drilled too many times, and that was it.
So now to start off with the semester beginning very, very soon as students returning to campus, can you tell what the university's been doing in residence halls, classrooms, dining halls, and all other spots on campus in the summer months that they haven't been on campus to make them safe? And what can students specifically expect when they go to classes on the first day and the 17th?
Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Social distance. I really need every student to really do those things. Wear your mask, wash your hand, and social distance. It's all of us working together to prevent the spread as best we can, so that we can start the semester face-to-face and finish face-to-face. What you'll see in residential halls, what you'll see in the classrooms, what you'll see throughout all the buildings, everything else at CMU are things in place to help do that. A lot of signage, a lot of one-way hallways, and even the hallway right outside my office, it's like driving a car. You stay on the right side of the hallway so that everyone can pass and not intermix. With regards to classrooms, they're all about 30% of the fire code. So if a classroom can seat 100, it's now going to seat 30. If a classroom was going to seat 30, it's now seating 10. So the smaller classrooms will be in slightly larger rooms. The larger classrooms, the larger classes will use what we call the high flex. And so for some of your classes, and we're fortunate at CM, we don't have a lot of large classes, but the ones we do of 100 or so, you're going to have a situation where on Monday, a third of the class goes and the other 2/3 are watching on the high flex. The Wednesday, the other third goes to class while the other 2/3 is watching a high flex. And then on Friday, again, moving those type of things around. We've bought 568 not face shields, but plexiglass to put above office doors and those type of things.
Okay.
In the residential halls, residential dining is going to be very different. No more self-serve. Everything's going to be served for you. No more going up and getting your own soda pop. That's going to be served for you. Wear your mask. When you walk in, get your food, take your mask off when you sit down to eat. When you get back up, put it back on and you'll walk out. And again, we'll be monitoring to keep the distance and the population a lot smaller. Takeout dining will be a very big option as well. So again, that's just a real quick overview, but social distance, wash your hands, wear your face mask, and just do everything you can to prevent the spread so we can continue to be here face to face.
Okay. So if a student ends up, testing positive or has contact tracing, there is a protocol in place for this type of testing. Can you explain a little bit how the quarantine dorm in Wheeler is going to work?
Sure. If you do test positive and you live on campus, we will help you and move you into the quarantine dorm where you'll stay for the requisite time. If you've tested positive, it'll be until you recover. And you'll have access to your academic classes through the HighFlex and online and et cetera. All of your meals will be brought to you through staff. All of the materials and everything else that needs to be delivered to you will be brought to your room in that particular area. So you'll be kind of in that Wheeler Hall in that isolation mode. If you've been contact traced, so in other words, you've been exposed, but may or may not have the COVID, again, we will isolate you in Wheeler Hall. You'll be on different floors, of course, and again, with the same type of protocols in place. And then once the CDC has now said that time of quarantine is 10 days. After the 10 days and you test negative, then obviously then you go back to your residential hall and the like. And so those are the things that we're moving forward on. The key thing is if someone does test positive, and I will say this, we will have positive cases. It's inevitable. We have the policies and procedures and protocols to handle that. If you're contacted, that means that they're going to have some further up questions. You may or may not have to go into quarantine depending upon how close you were, how long you were, and et cetera. So answer those questions honestly. If someone calls you and says, hey, you've been in contact with somebody, here it is, answer those questions honestly. And we'll go forward in those dimensions wherever the health department and everyone else determines necessary to keep the campus community safe.
Okay,
Everything
great.
that we're doing is to keep the campus, our faculty, staff, and our students as healthy and as safe as possible.
So that is fantastic to hear. Is for any student that wants a COVID test, is there like COVID testing available for any student that wants to be tested at any time?
They're working on that to have it on campus right now. We do not have the capacity for that. The state does not have capacity, but we do have a lot of resources close by, the Rite Aid and the various other places to do that. But we're working with all of those different organizations to either get a student there if they want to, if they don't have a car or something along those lines, and to provide those out. We also continue to work on trying to get some of the testing here on campus. It has to do with availability throughout the state and the country for that matter.
Okay. So it's just based on how the state goes. Okay, great. Will the Student Activity Center be open for students this semester? And will there be any IM intramural sports as well? If so, how's that going to work, and what will the regulations be for that?
Well, right now, because of the governor's executive orders, the workout facilities are not open to the general public or to the student population. We are seeking some clarification with regards to some other opportunities where we might be able to have students have some workout times and those type of things. It would be through an academic class and that type of thing. But right now, the SAC, because of the executive order, will not be open to the general student population. We hope by, again, wearing the mask, washing the hands, social distancing, that we'll get to phase 4, and then we would be able to open the SAC.
Okay, great. That's fantastic. So on the official CMU website, it states that there will be no overnight visitors for the entire 2020-21 year. Depending on how things go with students, like you said, wearing masks, proper distancing with hygiene, do you think you and your team will change that depending on how students do on campus?
Well, everything's a fluid situation, and as things improve or stay the same, and I'm confident we'll do one of those two, we will adjust as accordingly. The main thing, again, goes back to safety and health of the student population. If we get to phase 5, then that changes a lot of different dynamics. Getting to phase 4 is a good thing, but won't change a heck of a lot of those fluctuations. But of course, if there is a spike or anything along those lines, and we do need to go completely remote, we have policies, procedures, and practices for that as well. Above all, we will keep the university open. We will keep all of our residential halls open, the dining facilities open, and all the services that we can provide either face-to-face or remote will always be available to the students.
Okay, that is fantastic to hear. As a sophomore and stuff who's active and has friends back home who want to come up, I'm hoping that everyone complies with everything, and so I could have them come up, and we could just hopefully get back to our old normal. So I have a scenario for you, President Davies. I'm in the same class with numerous friends of mine. We have lunch together, we hang outside, maintain proper distancing, wearing masks and stuff. And they're from different dorms on campus. Like I'm in North and my friends would be from South Campus. Would they be able to come to my dorm to hang out, and if we wear masks and maintain distance, would that be suitable? Like how would that work?
It would be suitable. We're going to discourage as much as possible, but we understand people are social. And so of course we're going to, they have the North folks visit the South folk and all that kind of different stuff. And so we expect that to happen. But again, social distancing and those type of things will be of paramount.
Okay. So like you said earlier, COVID cases will go up when all students return this fall. Is there a percentage number that the university looks at in determining if all classes will go online or the entire campus will be closed, or will it be a combination of both in cases of Isabella County along with the university together for the campus to close? How would that work?
You said it precisely. There is no specific bar to go. It really depends on what's going on campus. Depends on where the numbers are coming from. Are they coming from a specific dormitory, a specific social organization, a specific thing, and can you isolate the specificity of those? Or is it just more widespread where it's going through many different dimensions? And then also, as you mentioned, very importantly, what's going on in the town of Mount Pleasant, the county of Isabella, and also the region that we are in as it relates to COVID reporting.
Okay. So with COVID tracing, if I'm asked to go live in Wheeler, do I have to go there immediately to Wheeler, or can I wait in my dorm because I live in a dorm by myself in Robinson? Can I wait in my dorm by myself until my parents can come and get me, or our parents come and get us until we can leave campus? Like, how does that comply?
We're going to encourage students who need to go through the quarantine or isolation to go to Wheeler. But of course, if you want to go home, you're more comfortable and it's safer or whatever the case may be, of course we're going to allow that. It's not a quote unquote immediate eviction per se, but we will try to work quickly. We will have individuals that help you move over to Wheeler and that type of thing. We do have bags already set up with materials in there, temperature gauge, thermometers, and et cetera, to help with that transition. And as I mentioned before, we will work with you. We have a kind of a list of things. Here's the things you might really think about packing. Your laptop, your books, your iPad, various other things along those lines. So again, we're going to work with you to move you over. If you do want to go home and quarantine and or isolate at home, obviously that will be your choice. But again, CDC recommendations, the less travel, the better. And so we will provide those options for you.
All right, that's fantastic to hear. In case if I get it or any other friends of mine or students get that, that's fantastic to hear. Since CMU is full of rich traditions and celebrations, especially in the fall, are those traditions still going to go on as planned, or will they be adjusted due to distancing and masks, like events like a Welcome Week, Main Stage, the blood drive for CMU, WMU, and also in Zebras No Excuses as well? Because I remember as a safari participant, that was a live show. Like, how are those traditions still going to be carried on?
A lot of the traditions that you just mentioned will be carried on, but will be done remotely. Leadership Safari is now called Expedition Safari. They're broken down in groups of 10, same thing with Impact. A lot of it is being done virtually, and a lot of the speakers are doing it online. No Zebras Left Behind is going on, but it's being done virtually with electronics and with the groups of 10 participating through WebEx and other computer activities. Clubs and organizations, some of the programs you mentioned will again be done virtually, but bringing large masses, groups of people together, unfortunately, will not be occurring this year. There's going to be, working with some of the performing arts and other things. We're going to have some pop-up things going on around campus throughout the semester, just to kind of continue that spirit. But again, also realize that having big groups of people converge is something that we want to work to manage very carefully. And again, as we talk about inside wearing your mask, if you're outside, you don't need to wear a mask unless you cannot socially distance. So in some of those cases where you have a lot of people come together, all of a sudden, put that mask back on.
Back up, yep.
Where you can't, be again socially distant.
Yeah, and also I'd with, again, like you said, all those events, hopefully they can still be carried out as planned. And also, will the therapy dogs be coming back to campus this fall due to the social distancing and stuff like that? Because it's good. College enough is stressful for us students, but it's going to be a little bit more stressful, granted, with everything that's been going on, all the distancing and stuff like that. So yeah. It'd be great to see those dogs back on campus again.
My next door neighbor actually owns 2 of the therapy dogs, and we talk about this often, and we're going to try to do it. I mean, it's just
that's great.
How it's going to be socially distanced and whatnot, and so we're thinking about some creative ways to do that, because we want to CMU is about student success. CMU is about putting programs and opportunities for students to be successful. And so it's important that we have many of the services, counseling centers, mental health services, physical health services, advising, all of those interactions and social dynamics. We are working very hard to replicate, and knowing it will be very, very different. The therapy dogs and some other things, we're going to try to really work out and see if we can continue those out at some key times.
That's fantastic to hear. I hope to see those dogs on campus soon. So now,
Yeah.
President Davies, before you go, this is a segment we do with every single one of our guests so far in the show. It's called Rapid Fire 7, just 7 random questions about you to get to know you a little bit better.
All right.
So what is your favorite place to eat in Mount Pleasant?
Camille's and Summit.
Okay. Favorite tradition that Central Michigan has?
I love the homecoming parade. Actually, that's one of them. But I would also say that the cardboard canoe race, cardboard boat race.
Cardboard boat races in the Rose Ponds. That's a fun tradition as well.
Absolutely.
Your favorite place to vacation?
Oh man, I would say right now, I would say Northern Michigan, the Petoskey area. We went through that this summer, and it was fantastic.
That's awesome. Your favorite music artist and song by that artist?
Golly. I love Lady Antebellum, but I also like Phil Collins. None of the songs come up to mind, but those were the two I'd be going with.
All right. What is your favorite go-to snack?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, my favorite candy. My favorite candy. What is your favorite movie?
Oh, geez. Field of Dreams would be high up there along with Hoosiers.
Hoosiers, that's a fantastic movie. I love watching Hoosiers. And finally, because this is a sports show, what is your favorite professional sports team?
The Cincinnati Reds. Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Foster, Tony Perez, 1976, Big Red Machine. Saw my very first machine. Yeah, my very first baseball game was in Riverfront Stadium. Johnny Bench hit a home run in the bottom of the 11th with Joe Morgan on first base to beat the Cubs by 1. Excuse me. They gave up a run in the top of the 11th. But that was and I love the Reds ever since.
Wow, the Cincinnati Reds, and then the Tigers have been playing them a lot this year too as well. So it's just been probably fun for you to see both teams been playing each other. So
absolutely, and I have to say I have little heart for Detroit because they took Sparky Anderson after he left Cincinnati. So I do have a little bit of soft spot.
There you go. So that President Davies, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I can't wait to come back up to campus and see you and see everybody and just see the campus once again. It's good. Hopefully it's going to be a great year and everyone complies with the social distancing and the masks and stuff like that. So
absolutely.
As a student, I can't wait, and I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. With that in mind, fire up chips, wear your mask, and wash your hands.
Fire up chips.
Be well. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Well, there you have it. There's five seasons of the show in the books. President Davies is a fantastic guy. Hopefully, all you fellow Chippewas out there got some answers that to your questions that hopefully you've been asking and wondering about. So there you go. 5 seasons. Amazing guests this entire time since March, since we started this back up for 2 seasons. So maybe a season 6 will be in order due to the Mid-American Conference and the Big Ten. All their small sports are canceled. There's no college football. So maybe we'll come back for season 6, depending on how things go. So with covering the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, all that stuff. Hopefully with some guests along the way as well. So thank you so much for tuning in for both seasons for the revival of season 4 and the 5th season. And we hope there's a 6th season. There will be a 6th season eventually. But until we meet again, please make sure to like, subscribe to this channel, and share this channel and this video link as well to all your fellow Chippewas out there. And until we meet again, as always, keep it fresh.